Okay, so this run is my fastest ever pace, but also not my fastest ever pace at the same time because I've had end enters that were faster than this run, but this is the only end enter I've had where I had zero mats. I felt confident with actually hitting the zero, and I also had a zeroable tower. This overworld is really funny because obviously it looks like a village seed at first, and then I click on the ruin portal, and it has 32 iron and 3 obsidian in it, and it's completable. So obviously it's an RPC disguised as a village seed. I've had struggle with these types of seeds before, where it's like two different structures and you don't know which one is intended. Um, it's always a little silly, but I discover immediately that this is an RP seed. Also, something that I want to mention, I've changed my graphic settings because fabulous and smooth lighting was just too much for me. Too much for my PC. Like I have a pretty old PC. It can like barely run speedrunning. Like when I push it to like higher render distances, it doesn't really work super well. So I'm gonna use every single graphics like optimization strategy that I can. So yeah, I mean, super linear RP overworld with village food is, I think, the key part. Usually RP seeds, lowest food seed type, but I can have village food, which is the highest food seed type. So it's really the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? This is the first like really fast run I've had where I feel like the seed has really carried. Get the gold here. I've also been learning some search crafts as well. It's not really on display this run because I learned it after this run happened. I actually had this run almost immediately after I made my I recorded my world record video. So it's funny. The video for this week is almost a week before it's gonna come out. I see the fortress already. I decide to kill the skeleton because I know it's going to bother me when I try to bridge. I get more wood to properly bridge across until I realize that I have a golden pick, which obviously is a much better way of farming blocks. I don't think I see the bastion at this point, but obviously I see the fortress. And there, I see the bastion out of the corner of my eye. They're both super close, very linear seed. Tons of blocks, tons of food. Everything you would need. It's a pickless. It's not a pickless. It's a pick enter. It's not like a super close bastion, but it's definitely close enough. I take a look. Housing, obviously fastest bastion type. I could divine travel if I want. Actually, I have no idea how divine travel works. I just saw bones and I was like, huh. That reminds me of that. I see this pig here, so I throw this gold. This chest is okay, but I obviously need to go to the other triple. I say other triple like that. It's a single, but whatever. I dig down the safe hole, because, I mean, if I was really locked in on making it as fast as possible, I would have just thrown gold and, mined all of the... Oh, right, I forgot about this. I dig down because I think it stables at first, because I just, for some reason, don't have a brain and don't have the awareness that this is the housing formation. But what I was about to say is I could, if I was playing for max pace, because this is a seed where I knew it was going to be fast as soon as I loaded into the nether. Like, RP enter, village food, super close, both structures. But I am still playing a ranked game. So even I could have theoretically pushed pace if I mined the chests at the top instead of digging down into the safe hole and looting it that way. But I know that that's inherently more risky. I'm planning to beat my opponent over pushing pace like as fast as I possibly can. You know what I mean? Like, if I really wanted to, I can leave on 5 rods, you know what I mean? Like, it just... I'm not playing for an RSG PB, I'm playing to gain elo, so... Pretty standard housing around here. It's so weird, watching, like, doing a commentary of a playthrough with, like, these graphics, because there's just so much worse. It's silly. Get my crossbow here, which means I don't have to pre-craft a bow. Splitting my pearls, splitting my string. At this point, I was getting a little worried that I might not get enough obby, but I end up obviously getting enough obby. I don't know why. I do all that. I know that I could have grabbed village beds, but just because in my mind it was an RP seed, like I ended up not doing that. I mean, it ended up not mattering. Split my string again because I pre-crafted my beds, and I realized, wait, I can just go. Like, this is everything. Except 17. I have 17 obsidian, so I go to the manhunt chest to check for obsidian here. Nothing. I was getting a little worried that I might not get 20 here, but luckily the trades clutched up. My opponent keeps pace with me for basically the entire game. They get to the fortress faster than I do. It's crazy how, like, this is something that I've noticed. Like, I feel like the skill gap between ranks is lower than it's ever been. It's like you have some gold 3 players that are hitting like emeralds, diamond times. You know what I mean? Like, depending on the seed. Like, I've had gold 3 players sub 13, sub 12 on me. You know what I mean? So it's just because people go on swings. Like, people go on massive swings, especially people with high FF rates, where it's like Osh can go in Emerald one day and hit Netherite the next. You know what I mean? I see the spawner here. I get a beautiful 3 spawn without blaze bedding. At this point, I was considering crafting iron axe until I realized that I don't have iron in my inventory. So I decide, obviously, it's not worth it. I blaze bed here. I run into this blaze intelligently. I have such difficulty dealing with blade spawns. It's probably a skill issue. Like, I almost die here just through blaze melee, but I didn't grab soul speed in the trades because I couldn't, like, that was not something that I think is worth getting if I don't have. I make the heads up play of placing the soul sand right below the blazes here so they don't lower down too far, which I think is pretty nice. Don't know why I dig here. I didn't have to dig there to build that blind portal, but it's okay. And this is a 7-minute blind, which is pretty good for my standards. Obviously it's still mess upable, but it's still chokeable. I would usually, like nowadays, I would search craft with DE for the blaze rod and the ender pearl, the ender eye there, but I get my measurement off one eye. I for some reason turn raw and put off there instead of on. Drop my fire charges because obviously I entered with FNS. That's something that I have trouble keeping track of too, like when I need to keep fire charges or not. Like, it's just something I don't really think about. I still need to get more blaze rods at this point. I think I tabbed out there, which is a little silly. Pearl hang here. Beautiful. I decided to pre-craft here rather than later because, I mean, I'm eating time loss either way. Craft my wool, craft my beds. I'm running out of things to throw away in my inventory. I have to throw out my wood. Now I can just leave. I leave the crafting table because I don't have anything else to craft, so. Line wasn't super close, but it was close enough, and the terrain was gorgeous, so. Ends up being a sub 9 stronghold. I've had pace. This isn't my only sub 11 pace that I've been on. I've been on one in a private room where I wasn't recording as well. So this is not my first time approaching this pace. I spawn in. I get a little scared because I don't see the stronghold immediately, and then I see this. Obviously, I'm in starter room. I check here. It's a bit of a messed up stronghold, but it wasn't too hard to circumnavigate. Yeah, I kind of tweak out here because I'm not used to a stronghold like kind of branching out and like the cave is just corrupting everything. I know that I try not to wormhole. You should just try not to wormhole. I realize that this is the only valid pathway that I can go, so I go this way, and then the portal room is just here. Block off that. Quickly go to hunger reset. And at this point, I know, like, I have 0 mats, like, easily. This could easily be the sub 11 if I hit this. And my opponent's entered the end here too, you know what I mean? Like, I could lose this if I don't go for the 0 as well. Even if I do go for the 0, the opponent could hit it. I see that it's front 85, really easy. My pearl is not great there. So I make the decision that costs me the entire run, which is to stay at 90 instead of going to 95. Another reason why I went to 90 instead of 95 is because I didn't have many good blocks. Like, I ran out of nether brick and had to go to soul sand, which it's pretty hard to 0 with soul sand. So, and then boom, it flies. And just like that, what could have been the sub 11 PB is now guaranteed basically not to PB unless it insta-perches, which is very unlikely. At this point, I'm kind of like freaking out because I want to not choke the run as well. I was not expecting the dragon to fly there, even though obviously I should have expected it. It's on 85, you should always try to push 95. I see the draw vote. It's my saving grace that this opponent has also messed up the 0 in a way that is worse than what I did, clearly, if they drew vote. Half bow. Roll out. Tons of food. Obviously village food. Now I just wait for the perch. And salvage what could have been a sub 11. It's a sub 11 choke by not pushing hard enough for the 0. I think I could have if I like had the presence of mind to realize that like I had enough blocks. Like, even though it was not, there weren't great blocks. Like, I had enough blocks to hit 95. But like, I'm just never thinking about it. I'm always trying to play it safe. I get the perch here, and this is probably the most embarrassing part of the run. Boom. I get it way too low. My first bed was way too early. And I mess up the 1 cycle as well. Now, what happens here is a little bit of a panic move after the dragon perches. I start bowing the caged crystals without even looking at what's in my inventory. Now, usually, if you mess up a 1 cycle, you don't have enough explosives. I look at an enderman here. Usually, when you mess up a 1 cycle, you don't have enough explosives to do another perch and hit another 1 cycle. But on this seed, I had so many explosives that even though I placed down 2 anchors in the 0 and also blew up a bed, and then blew up 2 beds in that 1 cycle, I still had enough to 1 cycle the dragon, which you only need 4. So I'm very lucky that it was such a high explosive seed, or else this would have ended in, maybe not a loss, because my opponent obviously died, but a much, much slower time than it ended up being. I realize at this point that I can 1 cycle, so I have to wait for the perch. I stopped shooting the caged crystals. The full bow. The dragon decides to not lock in for like another minute, basically, if I remember correctly. This version of me that hit this pace is a version of me that didn't have, I didn't learn my search crafts that I'm using yet. So, like, there's tons of things that I still need to improve that I still haven't learned. Like, I still haven't, like, properly learned my stronghold spikes. At least to the point of, like, actually really knowing what a silverfish spawner versus what a spider spawner or a zombie spawner looks like. So, like, there's tons of things I can improve on my game still. And I'm still pushing, like, sub 11, like, really fast pace, which I'm very proud of.